Hello everybody, it's Lucas Macintosh here and I'm back with some more Secret of Mana for the SNES Classic Mini. So this is going to be a different sort of video because I'm actually doing commentary over gameplay I recorded earlier. I would actually do live commentary, but I found that I was having some problems with my microphone when I was actually trying to do the commentary. My voice actually come out really distorted, very sharp. I think I spoke a little bit too loudly, so that was part of the problem because I was so into the action. So I'm just re-recording kind of the commentary now. Anyway, we're on the Mana Fortress now. Basically, I need to solve some puzzles in there in order to make further progression to the boss rooms. It's really difficult because everywhere just kind of looks the same. Things get very confusing. There's a number of crystal orbs throughout the Mana Fortress that you have to use spells on, so it's kind of trying to experiment and figure out which ones will get rid of the orbs to allow you to progress. Once I've done that and once I've figured that out, there will be a couple of boss fights as well to do before we're whisked off once again to do battle somewhere else. So yeah, it's really exciting, to be honest. Luckily, when you go away from the Mana Fortress and you come back, you don't have to go through the underground city again. That was the thing I was worried about the most. I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to do all that again, but you don't. It's really cool. So yeah, kudos for Square for making it really easy. Anyway, I'm gonna get very lost in this first part because it didn't take me very long, to be fair. It only took me about an hour or so to work my way through. It wasn't super difficult. I mean, once I applied myself, it's just I got a little bit overwhelmed because there's multiple paths and you can progress a little bit, but then you'll just get stuck and then you find yourself going back, and then I found myself getting really confused. I didn't seem to know which direction I was supposed to be going in, and every way just kind of looked the same, so I was like, not very good, to be honest. But anyway, we're gonna do this at least anyway. So also, once I've done the Mana Fortress, I may have to do a little bit of grinding off camera to afford some new items for my heroes to actually progress to the next part. So I think that's something I'll put into practice, because I just don't have enough money, I don't think, to kit them out. So that's one thing I'm going to need to do, which I've no problem with really anyway, so that's what it's all about. I'll do some grinding before we get to the next part of the game. So I'm coming up, I think, towards the end of the game now, and I'm actually glad I've actually got some of this done, because essentially I've been playing Grand Theft Auto non-stop. Grand Theft Auto 3, I should say. I've literally just finished that on my channel, and I've just started Liberty City Stories, so that's taken up a lot of my time. So that's why I've kind of been a little late with my Secret of Mana uploads, because I've just been like, oh, I love Secret of Mana, but I just got so into Grand Theft Auto. It's kind of all I really want to play, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to do Secret of Mana. I love it, but you know, I want to play more Grand Theft Auto, so I knew I had to get something done though. I've also need to get more Final Fantasy Mystic Quest done as well while I'm at it. Speaking of which, I finished Grand Theft Auto 3 and I'm going to be working on a review to that very soon. So I normally review games which are kind of strange, or you know, games that are underrated, but I thought, you know what, Grand Theft Auto 3, it deserves a Lucas Macintosh review, I think, because to me it is kind of an unusual game. It is to me. I mean, it's the norm now, but it set a standard back in the day. It is one of the best sort of games ever. I mean, it does have a few problems in terms, and I've noticed that. I mean, that's probably true of any good game. Certain games do have their problems, as does this one, but as I said, Grand Theft Auto 3, there were problems. It's very sensitive, and at times, like, the aiming was off. But I played Liberty City Stories and the aiming was just fantastic. They fixed everything in that game, so there will be more of that sometime this week on my channel, all being well. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get on with Secret of Mana, talking about different games. I need to figure out which magic I need to use in this orb. There's about, I think, 3 more orbs or something, this being one of them. I need to try and figure out what magic does what. and it's really frustrating because, you know, you end up, if you don't know the pattern, which I didn't, you end up wasting magic on stuff, you know, which could be better utilised somewhere else. So yeah, I'm just basically going through the list, trying to figure out which magic works and which doesn't. Does this work? Yes, there we go, the ice magic. So essentially what you're trying to do in this palace is there's an area with green flames. I call it the green flame sort of corridor, and that's the area you eventually need to go into, but unfortunately you need to do all the orbs first, or as many of the orbs as you can, to access that area. Once you're into that area, then you're home free. You've just got like a load of switches to do, and it's quite simple, but it's kind of like you've got to build the pathway, and that's essentially what you're doing by destroying all these crystal orbs. And I'm just going to have a bit of water, guys, because my throat's dry. There we go, let's do this. As you can see, I'm getting battered by the many enemies. Yeah, part of the problem is I'm in such a hurry. I love fighting on this game, but I'm just so sort of restless wanting to get this fortress done. Once you do the fortress, it sinks back under the water, and then that's done. And then you're supposed to go somewhere else to try and power up the mana sword, I believe. I've not kind of got any further than this at the moment, but we're getting there. And once I finish this game, I'm trying to think of another game to do, so that's kind of on the cards. So I'm always trying to keep these Let's Plays going as much as possible. I want to say a big thank you to all you guys who've been watching my videos. I've noticed a huge spike in my views. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch them. You know, I really appreciate every view, everybody who's ever watched my videos. Thank you very much, because it helps me an awful lot. And please don't forget to subscribe as well if you enjoy my videos. If you subscribe, then you'll be instantly notified when I upload a new video, so you won't have to keep sort of clicking on my channel, and you know, it just makes things easier for you guys. So we'll go up the stairs now. So I get a little bit confused. I remember that much doing this. There's a lot of confusion, and it's like I had to kind of narrow down certain pathways and try and work out the right route. So I had to try and figure it out, and it wasn't easy because everywhere just looks the same. To be honest, watching it now, I'm getting confused. I know that when I've done this as a kid, it's not, I don't need a guide to do it. And I didn't use a guide, but I kind of looked it up anyway, because I like watching sort of FAQs and stuff, and somebody said it was like an absolute maze, but it's not so difficult that you can't figure it out. I mean, I was able to do it without any help. I mean, you just literally just walk around, and if you walk around or just use the magic, you'll figure it out. You know, it's just like that green, once you see that green corridor, that's where you need to go. You just need to remember that's where you need to end up. That's the end goal. So I will show you guys when I see it where we need to go. See, there's a lot of dead ends, you see, but in many ways that's very helpful because it tells you where not to go as well. So it's always good. Just turn the volume down on my laptop a little bit because I don't want any kind of echo. There we go. So yeah, it's one of these rooms. Problem is, I end up going to all these rooms again because I just get so confused. In these rooms essentially are orbs, or crystal orbs, I guess, and you've got to, again, I'm repeating myself, use the right spells on the right orbs, which unlocks the pathway through the green corridor. It's, yeah, it's annoying, to be honest, and I was like, there's not so much to puzzle, and it's just, it just drags on a little bit. Right, we'll just go down here, and then we go up here. There's lots of little ways. Some ways lead up, some ways lead down. I'm on the other side now of the area with the whip that you could use, and the Heckhound's been tangled. I don't know why they don't call them Hellhounds. It's very strange. But mind you, Heckhound is pretty original, I suppose. So let's use some cure water now. So even the bosses aren't too hard as well on here once you figure them out. They're pretty easy. As I said, the only issue I have with this game is that my characters tend to get stuck a lot of the time. That's the only problem I have. The AI just won't, they just struggle a little bit, and I found another orb to like follow you, so I've got to figure out which piece of magic to use in here. I'm going to say fire. It kind of looks like fire would be used in here. There you go. Yes, good guess. So I've unlocked yet another route. So you've just got to kind of just go back and forth. It's designed to try and disorientate you, but you know, once you start eliminating those crystal orbs, it kind of starts to make a little bit of sense. You know, I mean, I got seriously overwhelmed. Right, I think this is the area. I'm pretty sure this is. See that area with the green flames? That's where you need to eventually end up. You need to end up head there. So that's your end goal. But the problem is, I can get there now, but the pathway is blocked. So I don't think I'm able to go. And I'm going to show you now. I'm talking like I'm actually playing this live, but I always try to do that rather than just talk about things, you know, what I did. So we're going to go this way, and we're going to go up. So this is the right path, so don't worry if you get here and you're stuck. This is eventually where you'll need to end up. Look, see, I need to build a staircase here, so I need to find, I think, another orb or switch. So I think once I destroy another orb, that staircase will appear, and that will allow me access to the next part of the palace, essentially. So yeah, that's kind of what you need to do. That's the key. I'm just trying to speak as softly as I can because yeah, I really went for it in my live commentary. I was like, and I was like almost yelling, and like, the problem is when you shout into a microphone and you're trying to do live commentary, your voice becomes all sharp and nasty, and then you try and, even though you're not shouting, say if you raise your voice a little bit, you know, then you try and lower the sound in the editing software, it's still kind of sharp and nasty, and like nothing I did would kind of help. So that's why I'm doing this commentary over my previous gameplay. So I'm almost there. I'm literally almost there. I just need like to find another orb. Once I find an orb, that's it. I think that should do it. So I can't, and it's just like teasing me. It's like, yeah, you want to go down here? You want to go down here? You can't yet. You need another orb. And these enemies as well just annoy me. And I used to do this as a kid all the time. I've mentioned this in previous Mana videos, is that I just would not kill any enemies. I just kind of try and get through the palaces and dungeons as quickly as I could. That's just the way that I played the game, really. I will have to do some serious grinding though, again, once this is over, so I can afford more stuff before going to the next part of the dungeon. Next part of the game, I should say. I don't know why I said dungeon. Yeah, and a lot of the times why I don't kind of attack is because sometimes, you know, like when you play Legend of Zelda and Link uses his sword and it's effective, it's just not, sometimes as powerful as the Mana Sword is, sometimes you won't hit an enemy, which I get in real life you could miss, but there are times when I've been like dead accurate and I've still missed the enemy, you know, so it's kind of potluck sometimes with me. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, it's only like 7 out of 10 times it actually happens, but no, tell a lie, about 3 out of 10 times it would happen. I mean, like when I'm fighting a boss, it's actually more effective, but sometimes on random enemies, just taking a swipe, it won't actually hit them, and that can be frustrating, you know, but it's just the way the game is, I suppose. It's not too much of a big deal, I can kind of adapt to it. Alright, so let's try and go this way now. Yeah, it's like you've got to just like, through process of elimination, try and figure out where you're supposed to go. This fortress is so designed that you're going to get mixed up anyway, so don't worry if you do and you're finding it really difficult, because you know, once it's done, you'll have that, oh yeah, that's what I was supposed to do moment. This isn't like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which is a fantastic game, but some of the puzzles in that are like, it's like when you solve the puzzle and it's like something you've never thought of, and then the game's like, that's what you should have done. Doesn't that make sense? And I'm like, no, it does not make sense whatsoever. However, in this game, it kind of does. There's kind of rhyme and reason to what you're doing. You just got to remember that each orb you destroy is a step closer to the main boss rooms. That's all you've got to remember. So look, I'm almost there. It's teasing me now. I need to get into that room. I want to get into that room. How do I get into the room? Basically, I'm just going around in circles. It's really tricky. So yeah, even I get stuck. You know, as a kid, I think I probably had more patience as a kid, which is strange because most kids, not all kids, but most kids have no patience. I was quite patient with this game as a kid. I guess because I spent a lot of time on my own. As I said, I never really went to school as a child, so I went to a community centre for 2 hours a day, and that's it. I do like, was it 2 hours? No, it was like 3 hours or something. Yeah, 2 or 3 hours. I do like 9 till 12. Right, I do my maths and English and the equivalent or whatever I was told to do, and then I just go home and I turn on the Super Nintendo and I play that all day, and then I played it all night. It was great, you know, happy days. It was kind of like, you know, me and school just never really clicked, if I'm honest. Did manage to go to college though, despite having no proper results. I managed to get into college, and I even managed to go to university, so I was quite surprised really. Someone with my limited education was able to do that. I'm not bragging or by any means, I'm just explaining the way it was for me really. I mean, surprise actually, you know, still amazes me to this day, because literally all I wanted to do in life was sit down and play video games and not be hassled by anyone. I kind of am now. It's great. I can literally play video games all day and make videos about them. It's a great life, you know, and I'd really love to do YouTube as a living. I'd love it to be my full-time job. That would be the dream for me. It's not about popularity for me or subscribers. I mean, it is, but not in the way that you think. I'm not a vain person. It's not like, oh, I need millions of subscribers. You know, if people like my stuff, I really, you know, I think that's great, you know, but I'm not like hungry for, I mean, it would be nice to be a large channel, but I'm not like, oh, you must subscribe to me or anything like that. You know, there's literally no pressure. You know, that's just the way I've always been. I suppose I've never really been very competitive. I've just always been kind of like, well, if you like my stuff, great. If you don't, that's okay, you know. It's just the way I've always been. But you know, if you like my stuff and you want to subscribe, then you're very welcome. I mean, if you subscribe, you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. It'll save you having to click on my page each time. And also you can follow me on Twitter as well at DodgeThisLucasMacintosh for all the latest happenings on my channel, essentially. I mean, I've got quite a lot going on the channel at the moment. I've got all these Let's Plays on the go. So it's just trying to do one a day, like devote one day to doing one kind of Let's Play. I spent the weekend doing Grand Theft Auto related stuff, and now it's Secret of Mana, and then it will be probably just some Final Fantasy tomorrow. Hopefully have that uploaded. I'm hoping to have all this done and uploaded later on in the wee hours of the morning, because that's kind of what I like to do. I like to do a Let's Play, edit it, you know, make sure it's, you know, good enough to be uploaded, and then upload it. I mean, I never want to upload anything that's, you know, not good enough, or I think it's not good enough. That's the reason why. I mean, I could have just uploaded the video as it was and been like, oh, okay, that'll do, but my voice was just terrible, you know. I thought, people can't hear this, they're going to totally notice the difference. So anyway, I'm just going around in circles, but in many ways it's a good thing, because that's what this fortress is designed to do. I've mentioned this before, it's disorientating and it's frustrating. So this is, I struggled quite a lot doing this. Alright. So,